People usually think that becoming productive is about doing a lot of work in a short period of time, but that's just bullshit. You don't need to cram as many things as possible into your to-do list in order to become productive. In fact, this method would make you less productive and can quickly lead to burnout. So how do you actually become productive? Before telling you that, you need to understand what does real productivity mean. First off, productivity isn't about quantity, it's about quality. It's not about how much you do, but how well you do it. Now let's see why trying to do too much can backfire on you. When you overload yourself with too many things, you spread yourself too thin. This leads to decreased focus, more mistakes, and ultimately less gets done. Plus, the constant pressure can cause stress and burnout, making you feel overwhelmed by your work instead of feeling motivated. So how do you really become productive? Firstly, what I found out is productivity is a cycle. This is what the cycle looks like. So let's say you got motivated. Motivation makes you wanna do work. So you take action and you get some work done. When you get some work done, your brain thinks it's an achievement. Then the achievement of doing work makes you feel good, and that gives you motivation to then finish more work. It goes around and around like a loop. The more motivated you are, the more work you do, and the more work you do, the more motivation you get. So every time you think of productivity, imagine this cycle. But what to do when you wake up feeling demotivated and there's a big assignment sitting on your desk? Let's say you have a huge 50-page assignment to complete, but you just can't seem to get started. In moments like these, you need to trick your brain. Tell yourself, let's say, write one page, no more than that. By minimizing the amount of work you expect from yourself, your brain thinks, hey, this is pretty easy, let's get it done. Once you start, I don't think you'll stop, and often you'll find that the momentum carries you through, and before you know it, you have made significant progress or even sometimes completed the whole task. Now here's the second thing I found out that most successful people do in order to stay productive. They have a to-do list, and list including all your important tasks for the day. So when you have your to-do list made, not only you have less confusion like what to do and when to do, but you can also cross off tasks that you have completed. The act of crossing off a task tells your brain you have achieved something, and that makes you feel good and starts the productivity loop and keeps it going. And make sure to make your to-do list detailed and write your to-do list in book or in paper, not on your phone. Those of you who have watched this video till here, I have secret tip to make you way more productive. But before that, have you ever had a project or an assignment during 2 weeks, but you don't start it until the last second day? When there's a lot of pressure, you somehow manage to complete it just in time. Why do you think you do this? Even when you know you have 2 weeks to do it, you can do a little amount of work every day, but you still push it until the very last moment. This is because of the urgency factor. When the deadline is close, your brain switches to high efficiency mode, focusing intensely on the task to meet the deadline. However, this isn't sustainable or healthy in the long term. You will have to create an habit tracker and accountability tracker, because it's all too easy to let ourselves off the hook when no one's watching. Staying consistent without distraction would be very hard. That's why I highly recommend creating a productivity tracker to keep yourself in check. You can use my free Notion template. In this Notion template, you can set daily tasks, weekly tasks, monthly and yearly goals, and many more, all without any sort of extra effort. I've put the template link in the description. Make sure to use it. Or you can make a physical journal, keep a record of your daily habits, and this can work wonders for keeping you accountable. It's not about doing a lot of work twice a week. It's more about staying consistent every day. Even if you do bare minimum, don't get off track. I know there could be days where you are having stress, anxiety, or a bad day where your brain isn't working. You can either take small breaks between work, like go outside for a walk, or you can listen to this frequency for a minute. So sit down in a quiet place like a room or even a park and listen to this frequency. So what this frequency does is, when you don't have clear thoughts or you feel depressed, sad, anxious, this frequency will give you a sense of clarity and will also strengthen your five senses, and it can be great thing to do when you're struggling. Personally, this frequency has helped me get work done. And lastly, I believe whatever happens in the long term largely depends on what you believe. If you believe your life should be easy and simple, you will take decisions and actions that align with your belief. I remember this very quote: what you think, you become; what you feel, you attract; what you imagine, you create. You need to change your self-image. If you view yourself as someone who isn't as productive person, you will indeed become that person. But if you want to change this situation, you need to convince your brain that you are someone who doesn't procrastinate and is also very productive. So how can you do that? For example, if you want to start reading a book and you struggle to do it, you can start by convincing your brain that you're gonna read only one page of it. And if you do that, you will convince your brain that you have completed a task, an achievement. This will create a self-image belief that you can do it. Remember, it's all about quality over quantity and consistent over short bursts of intense work. If you feel stuck or overwhelmed, take a step back, use the productivity cycle and keep pushing forward. I hope this video helped you. And if you are ready to take your productivity to next level, check out the free Notion template I've linked in the description. It's a real game changer. Let me know in the comments how you stay productive or if you have any other tips that work for you.